I load in to grow a garden, completely broke. $20 to my name, not a single plant in sight. However, next to me is the #1 player with 44.5 million. His garden looks like a jungle made of cash and power. I walk in to get a closer look, admiring the chaos. Out of nowhere, he spawns in front of me. I try to stay chill, complimenting his setup and acting impressed. He fires back by mocking my bank account. I'm not letting that slide. So I ask him what plants are the best, like a humble beginner. He takes me on a tour, showing off the most valuable crops. As he explains, I start stealing every ripe plant I can find. He loses it and rage quits before he can stop me. I now have a pepper and a grape. I sell the loot for hundreds. Just like that, I'm not broke anymore. This was the first move in my rise to garden domination. I spawn in to grow a garden with a dream and not a single plant. Broke, empty plot, but eyes full of ambition. So I scan the leaderboard and spot a player worth 1 million. Time to investigate how someone so rich built their empire. I find his garden, and it's underwhelming. Barely any plants, a few trees. It looked abandoned. He claims he made his fortune selling apples, supposedly worth hundreds of thousands. He takes me to his prized apple trees, and they're microscopic. I can barely even see them. I'm skeptical, but he swears they're legit. I don't waste time. I start stealing every tiny apple in sight. He's furious, storms off the server out of pure frustration. Now it's my turn to sell. I'm expecting a fortune, but the apple sells for $779. That's it. He lied. I got scammed. I didn't grow a garden, I grew regret. It's day 3 of becoming the richest thief and grow a garden. And right next to my broke plot was a candy farmer worth $13.5 billion. Obviously, I had to pay him a little visit. When I stepped inside, I was staring at mutated mushrooms and cotton candy trees the size of houses. I tried to take one. Nothing. Tried another. Still nothing. He had somehow made his entire garden unstealable. But then, I saw it. A single banana, and I took it. Not exactly high value, but it's something. I kept trying. Desperate to grab anything. I was stealing like it was a boss fight. That's when he finally confronted me. He walked up and said one word, steal. He was challenging me. So I doubled down. I kept trying, it was useless, but I was committed. Then he stood directly in front of me and left the game. I think I broke him. And from what I stole, I made $2 million. Not sure how, but hey, a win's a win. It's another day of becoming the richest thief and grow a garden. I had no garden, no money, just ambition. Today's target? A player with $300 million. I visited his garden, and honestly, looked nice, but nothing crazy. This time, instead of stealing, I wanted to try a new strategy, honesty. I asked him for some fruit. He called me a noob, but gave me some anyway. So I let the insult slide. He said they sold for a lot. No stealing needed? Sounded perfect. But when I sold them, $72. He lied to me, straight to my pixelated face. So I went back to confront him, but he was AFK. That's when my instincts kicked in. I got to work. By the time he came back and started raging and left the game, it was already too late. I had pocketed 3 mangoes already. He couldn't stop me. I sold them all and made over 1 million. Begging doesn't pay, but stealing absolutely does. It's another day of becoming the richest thief and grow a garden. Today's victim was worth 14 billion, so naturally, I paid him a visit. His garden was loaded. Easter plants, rare stuff I'd never seen. But the candy blossom caught my eye, and I went straight for it. Snagged 3 of them, just to test the waters before a full sweep. Turns out, the guy was AFK. Perfect. As I was selling the candy blossoms, someone accidentally handed me a huge frozen mushroom. He panicked. Begged for it back. Started throwing insults. So I checked the value. 30 million. That was more money than I had ever seen. He begged again. So I made a deal. Give me another valuable fruit, and I'll return the mushroom. He handed me a beanstalk, worth 200,000. I wasn't impressed. So I sold the mushroom anyway. He crashed out and started insulting me, and I think he got banned from all the hate he was spewing. Now I've got $46 million, and while he lost a mushroom, I gained a fortune. Life's fair, if you're me. It's another day of becoming the richest thief and grow a garden. I still have no plants on my plot, but I do have infinite Robux. Today, there's a $53 billion player in my lobby, so I paid him a visit. His garden was stacked with candy blossoms and Easter plants. Stealing from him would make me rich. But before I could grab anything, someone approached me and offered to give me fruits. It's like he knew I was about to rob him. He handed me a bunch of valuable fruits. And honestly, I felt grateful. Maybe stealing isn't the way to get rich. Maybe it's friendship. But while I was thanking him, someone else stole from him. He was furious. So in honor of his kindness, I wasn't letting that slide. I teleported to my garden and snuck into the thieves. His plot was massive. I didn't know what to take, so I just started grabbing everything. If it glowed, I took it. Eventually, he logged out, but it was too late. I already cleaned him out. In return, I gave everything to the player who helped me. Time to sell. The fruits he gave me sold for 1 million. Then he gave me a candy blossom. That one fruit sold for 8 million. And just like that, stealing made me rich, but loyalty made me unstoppable. It's another day of becoming the richest thief in Grow a Garden. And today, the devs made a mistake. Because even if you favored an item, it can still be stolen. So I knew exactly what to do. Today's victim had $18 billion. So of course I paid his garden a visit. His garden was massive. Huge fruits, rare plants. But then, I saw it. A pepper so big I could literally climb it. I've never seen a pepper like that in my life. So I played it cool, asked him how he got it. He said, the sprinkler method. I don't even know what that is. Then I asked how much it was worth and what other rare fruits he had. I was basically scouting his loot, and he didn't suspect a thing. Then I asked him, what if someone stole your pepper? He said, they can't, and flashed the favorite tool like it was some kind of force field. So I said, what if I tried anyway? He challenged me. So I climbed the pepper, paid the 37 Robux, and boom. It was mine. But I didn't stop there. I started robbing him blind. He was typing in all tags, probably swearing, then rage quit. Too late. I had rare fruits, a mega pepper that didn't even fit on my screen. And when I sold it all, $63 million. Moral of the story? Don't favorite what you can't protect. It's another day of becoming the richest thief in Grow a Garden. But today, I decided to try something different. I was actually going to grow a garden. First, I bought a godly sprinkler. Then I used Robux to get a master sprinkler. I was ready to try the sprinkler method everyone kept talking about. I checked the shop for seeds, and there was nothing good. So I settled for what I had. Bamboo. I set up both sprinklers, I planted the seeds, and waited. Eventually, I harvested 5 bamboo and sold them. It gave me 70,000. That's it. I was underwhelmed, but maybe it needed to mutate. So I went AFK in the lobby, hoping the bamboo would mutate while I was gone. When I came back, I had 3 bamboo left. Someone stole from me while I was AFK. I sold the leftovers for 20,000. Yeah, I'm not growing a garden anymore. I'm going back to stealing. So I turned my eyes to the richest player in the server. $1 trillion, more than I've ever seen. His garden was massive, rare plants everywhere. But what caught my eye was a giant candy blossom, and all of them were favorited. But he didn't know favoriting doesn't stop my wrath. So I got to work. One by one, I stole his candy blossoms, then I climbed his beanstalk ready to take more. But he logged. It was too late. I had already stolen everything I needed. When I sold my inventory, it gave me $33 billion. I was rich. No, I was unstoppable. I don't want to be rich anymore. I want to be feared. It's another day of becoming the richest thief in Grow a Garden. And today, I wanted straight chaos. I was a menace, stealing fruit, making people log out, selling their stolen goods like it was a garage sale. Over and over. Until I saw him. Someone worth $1 trillion. I had to see his garden. Turns out, it was garbage. No rare crops, no sprinklers, just one thing. A single candy blossom tree. That was good enough to steal. So I did. Again. And again. Until he walked up and said, "Get out!" But I didn't. I kept stealing. Then he said something that made me pause. I don't care. I'm rich. I didn't believe him until he pulled out the biggest candy blossom I've ever seen. It was glowing. It was mutated. It was massive. I kept stealing anyway. But then he did something insane. He gifted me the giant candy blossom. When I asked why, he just said, to help you out, since you're so poor. I had 33 billion. But he didn't care. Then he kicked me from his garden like I was a bug. So I sprinted to the cellar, candy blossom in hand. Even other players watched. They wanted to see what it was worth. When I sold it, it gave me $200 billion. I was rich, richer than ever. But today I learned something. There are levels to this game, and I'm nowhere near the top. It's another day of becoming the richest thief in Grow a Garden. But now I had a problem. I was worth over $200 billion, and stealing someone's $1 million fruit didn't even move the bar. Even a $2 billion fruit felt like pocket change that I give to the less fortunate. I needed something bigger. Then I remembered, for every friend in your server, you get a 10% sell boost. So I had a plan. I'd get 50 friends in my game and sell a giant stolen candy blossom with a massive sell boost. So I called in the squad. 50 subscribers flooded the lobby like bees to honey. One by one, I added every single one of them until that beautiful plus 400% friend bonus appeared. Then I pulled out the candy blossom, the one I stole from a trillionaire's garden. I walked to the cellar, and its base value, $200 billion. Then I clicked sell. The number flashed, 200 billion. It seemed to not have worked. But when I checked my wallet, $1.1 trillion. That blossom sold for 900 billion. I was now the richest thief in Grow a Garden. But I'm not stopping here. Not until I'm the richest player in the entire game. It's another day of becoming the richest thief in Grow a Garden. And I went straight to work. I spotted a player worth 100 billion, so I made a beeline for his garden. He had giant fruits just sitting there, so I stole a moon melon, a massive mushroom, and a giant pepper. Sold them all. Easy money. Then, the owner approached me. He said he was sad I took them, but he'd let it slide. Then he said something that stopped me. He said he recognized me and said he was subscribed, and suddenly I felt guilty. I robbed a fan, so I made a decision. I told him to stay in the server. I'd be back. Then I got to work. I stole mutated beanstalks, giant peppers, huge melons, and even a giant moon glow. By the end, I had fruits worth over $2 billion, so I rejoined his server. The moment I loaded in, I got recognized. But the subscriber came up to me, so I gave him everything, totaling up to $10 billion. And I gave another fan a fruit worth $2 billion. I only gifted them for one reason. They were subscribed, so hit that sub button, or the next fruit I steal might be yours. It's another day of becoming the richest thief and grow a garden. But I had a problem. A new thief named Damon passed me. He had more money than me, and I don't take losses lightly. So I snapped. I stole from everyone. Didn't matter who. Didn't matter what. If it was growing, it was mine. Even when someone begged me for their mushroom back, I ignored them. I was losing my humanity. People started logging off when they saw me. That's how bad it got. But I kept going. 2 straight days of robbing every garden I could find. And finally, I had a stash worth over $1 trillion. So I called in my army. 50 subscribers joined me for the sell boost. I added everyone and got a 400% bonus. I sold everything. It should have made $2 trillion. But when I checked my wallet, I had $10 trillion. I was the undisputed richest thief in the game. But something felt off, so I gave one subscriber a fruit worth $200 billion, just to remind myself I'm not completely heartless. Because if I ever am, nobody's safe. It was just another day of becoming the richest thief and grow a garden. I was already worth $10 trillion, but that wasn't enough. Then I saw him, a brokey across from me, only worth $300 billion. But his garden, absolutely stacked. A giant moon melon was practically leaning into my plot. So, of course, I stole it. And the beanstalks. And the rest. I didn't care what it was. If it sparkled, it was mine. Mid-robbery, he walks up to me and says, I don't even need the money. You could have just asked. But I kept stealing. Didn't even flinch. He says it again, that I'm wasting Robux to steal when he'd give me the fruits for free. So finally I ask, and he hands over huge moon melons and a huge candy blossom. Says that's all he's got and hopes it's enough. I ask why he's helping me. He shrugs it off and says, why not? So I check the prices. The melons, middle. But that candy blossom? Over $200 billion. Then he comes up again. Turns out he recognized me, said he was subbed, and gave me all that before he knew who I was. Truly, a kind soul. So I gifted him a raccoon. He didn't want it, but I made him take it. Because in my garden, if you're subscribed, you always get something back. It was another day of becoming the richest thief and grow a garden. But this time, I wasn't going to steal. I was going to grow. I had 37 of the new seed packs just sitting there, hoping I'd finally get a divine plant. Opened the first 10, nothing but rares. Then more, a few legendaries, some mythicals, but not a single divine. I opened all 37. Nothing. So I got 11 more packs out of desperation. And finally, on the 45th pack, I got it, the sunflower, a divine. So I planted all the new seeds, and once they grew, I set up sprinklers, even used the new honey sprinkler. Then left the game to let nature cook. Hours later, I returned. Everything had bloomed. I harvested all the fruits. It was time to sell. I checked the price of the divine fruit first, $100,000. Are you joking? That's garbage. I sold everything else I had. Total profit, $900,000. After opening 45 seed packs and wasting hours, I could have made more robbing one moon melon from a brokey. So I did the only logical thing. I deleted every new plant in my garden. Lesson learned. Stealing is a lifestyle, and farming is a scam. It's another day of becoming the richest thief and grow a garden, and I went straight to work. I spotted a massive frozen mango in someone's garden. But right before I could grab it, someone else stole it first. I was stunned. Who dares steal before me? The garden owner didn't even care. But I did, so I hunted the guy down. I had to know, why was he stealing? He said he was broke and needed seeds, and he'd keep stealing until he could afford one. I respected it, so I gave him a fruit worth $1 billion. He sold it, thanked me, ran off, and I thought that was it. But nope. As I was checking the price of a fruit not even 5 minutes later, I caught him stealing again. I couldn't believe it. I had just helped him, yet here he was, back at it like nothing had changed. I confronted him, disappointed. Even the garden owner looked upset. And then he dropped the bomb. He said he started stealing because I inspired him. He even apologized and claimed he was a fan and even was subscribed. So because he was subscribed, I gave him a fruit worth $1 trillion. He then sold it. And now he's a trillionaire thief. All because he followed in my footsteps. Lesson learned. You never know who's following your path. So make sure it's one worth walking.